Welcome to the K-Prince Christmas Chronicles Day. Hey y'all, welcome back to the K-Print, where I'll be giving you the blueprint to all things fashion, beauty, and lifestyle. So first of all, before we get into it, you don't see this after the game, but I just filmed a video doing a full face using all Dollar Tree products, and of course that video will be posted before this, so if you haven't seen it, go ahead and watch it. But it came out pretty decent, so I decided to go ahead and keep it on so that I can shoot this video right here. So today we have our first Talk About It Tuesday, and just a brief, I guess where it came from. I like to find purpose in my pain and just whatever I do, and I feel like I can help others. And it had been something I had been thinking about. And I was talking to some friends, and they mentioned like me doing something like this, and I was like, it's crazy you say that, because I was jotting some stuff down, and this was actually something in the same area, because I think I had sent like, I don't know, when if you're my friend, or if I talk to you, like I'm gonna try to come through and send a motivational message or send you some scriptures or just like help you get through, even when I probably may not be feeling my best or might not be, or I may be struggling. Like, I still like to help others, and I like to do to others what I would want done to myself. So here I am expanding it and trying to help everybody, whoever needs it. And so it'll just be a real transparent segment where we'll discuss things that people really don't like to talk about, or the things that are stigmatized. So like mental health and just life in general. It's really a time for us to just sit right here and talk. And I'm not just going to be talking off my soapbox. I am prepared. I have my notes. So it's going to get real. And I really just hope that these Talk About It Tuesdays can help somebody, inspire somebody, and just keep somebody going forward. And if you really like this video, comment some more topics you want to see me discuss, or you can comment them, or you can message me on my Instagram, my Facebook, or my Twitter, which all will be in the description box. So for today's episode, it's going to be a little deep, but we are talking about understanding and processing grief, which will also lead into our part 2 of discussing, which will be discussing anxiety, faith, and checking on the strong friend. And just in general with all of this, I want to just make a disclaimer and say I honestly hate the term the strong friend, because I feel like it's a cop-out to really just not be a good friend. Like, I don't care how strong a person is. Everybody wants somebody to check on them. Everybody needs somebody to check on them, whether it's you asking, how are you, even if they won't be honest, or just being there. Everybody wants to feel like they have somebody. I don't care how strong a person is. Jesus needed to know that God was there for him, so what makes you any different? Let's ponder on it. So, first I'm so smiley today because honestly, it's been a crazy week, but today I went to church virtually, and we talked about the joy, and I just have the joy of the Lord inside me, because I know that from the highest mountain to the lowest valley, God got me, and that's on period, poop. I mean, God, I don't know why, but God favors me, and I'm so blessed, and I am just excited, because even at my lowest of lows, I can still feel the presence of God, and everybody can't say that. But I ain't trying to preach to y'all. Let me take my earbud out. But yeah, I just can't stop smiling. I'm genuinely in a good mood, and I'm so excited because I don't look like what I've been through, so I'm so excited. Okay, so we're gonna start with some definitions. So grief is mostly mentioned when a loved one passes, but it's not just that. You can feel grief from failed relationships. You can feel grief when you get bad news. Grief is grief. However, the main time it's brought up is of course when a loved one passes, but you can feel grief. And grief has different stages. There are different stages of grief, 7 of them to be exact. And just because there are stages doesn't mean they happen in the same order, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you will experience all of them. But what it does mean is, after some bad news is given, or you encounter a major change in your life, these are stages that you can't endure. So first, I want to say, before I get into the stages, Grief buried is unfinished business, and it can look like and lead to depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, all things like that. But those are things that we'll discuss in part 2, not necessarily as it relates to grief, but just in general. So, the 7 stages of grief. So the first stage is shock, and it's just like initial paralysis once hearing the bad news, which is what it's described as. And that's just like somebody tell you something and you literally just like, what? Like that. And the second stage is denial, and it's really trying to avoid the inevitable. So I feel like shock and denial play a part, because you shocked and your initial reaction is, I don't believe it, and you're gonna push it in the closet until you gotta be faced with it. So let's see, say in the fact of losing a loved one, they tell you this, you like, can't be. But once it's time for their wake or their funeral, their denial is all, you can't. You gotta accept it. Then you have anger. Anger is described as a frustrating outpour of bottled emotion. That can come from the slightest thing. I tell you, like, throughout this whole process, honestly, you probably gonna go through ups and downs and all the rounds, and something gonna always trigger some anger, just because one, you'll have that shock and that denial that even though you understand that it happened, you'll still have like, okay, I know this, I saw this, but can't be. And it can be the slightest thing of, okay, I'm back, my camera died, I can't get the angle correct. I had the ring light sitting how it was supposed to be sitting, and then I tripped over it. But we're gonna get started, because now it still say it sound like one, well, I was talking about, I think I was on the portion of anger. And so, like, honestly, any little thing can trigger you. Like, it could be the fact that your pillow fell when you try to put it on the side of you, and it can just trigger anger. Like, you'll be irritable. Let's just say that. After that, you have bargaining, and it's described as seeking in vain for a way out. I honestly don't know what that means. I tried to look it up some more, but there's a phase. And then you have depression, and it's the final realization of the inevitable. So, like, when you hear depression, you think of just like how people stigmatize depression, like, oh my god, this, that, and the third. But it has many shapes, forms, and fashions. And depression, being depressed doesn't mean you have to be depressed for a long periodically time. Okay, I know this is a serious moment, and I kind of made that funny. But you can be depressed for a day, you can be depressed for a couple hours. Honestly, it's just realizing what's happening, and maybe you have a day where you just don't want to do anything but lay in the bed. It's okay. It's okay to have moments like that. You have to allow yourself to feel those emotions, and that's something that I had to learn. I didn't want to feel the emotions. I mean, I still don't. I still kind of try to like put it to the back, but I do allow myself to feel those emotions, because not feeling them will lead to a whole nother thing, and you don't want to make yourself sick. Then you have testing, and it means seeking realistic solutions. So what works for you? What's going to help you get through this? This is a test for me. Will this help me get through it? I'm not a talker. I don't like talking to people. I don't like telling people there's something wrong with me. One, I just don't like feeling like I'm a burden on people. And two, it's just, I just don't like it. So what I try to do is, like I said, I try to find purpose in the pain. If I can help somebody else, that's cool. But I also have to realize I can't pour if I'm empty. So you have to know that. You can't pour if you're empty. It's okay to be empty. You have to allow yourself to be in, if it's that depressed state, to just sit there, feel those feelings, and then recharge and regroup. But what you also have to tell yourself is, this is a moment. I'm going to allow myself to feel this for the moment, and that's all it is. Then I'm going to make the conscious decision and make the effort to get up and have a good day. You can be sad and have a good day. That's okay. Like, you can have two feelings at once. It's not just I'm sad or I'm mad or I'm angry or I'm depressed or I'm happy. Like, you can have multiple feelings. And what I've been told is to treat your feelings like a baby bird. Baby birds are fragile. When you get them, you hold them. You don't suppress them. You hold them, you gently hold them. And you caress them. You know, you embrace the baby bird. So embrace those feelings. It's okay. Whether if you have to do it by yourself, do it by yourself correctly. And that's something I'm learning. So just embrace the feelings. Then you have acceptance. So after you've been testing out ways to make the conscious decision so you can be okay, then you will be finally be able to accept, okay, this is what it is, this is what it ain't. I know I can't change what happened, but what I can do is move forward and progress. Because no one wants to be sad all the time. No one wants to feel those feelings all the time. No one wants to feel that hurt all the time. But what has to happen is you have to get to a point where you're tired of feeling that hurt. You're tired of being angry. You're tired of being depressed. You're tired of laying in a room by yourself. You're tired of crying. But what it doesn't mean that I'm tired, I've accepted this, and now everything is going to be peaches and cream and I'm going to forget all about it. No. What it means is you can pinpoint, okay, today is going to be a day. I'm going to allow myself to feel this. And then tomorrow I'm going to get up and I'm going to keep going about my day. I'm going to just allow yourself to feel the feelings. The point of grief is to mourn. Mourn is an act and work of grief. It isn't meant to last always. We're supposed to grieve and we're supposed to mourn so that we can get over the hump. But when you grieve for long periods of time, it's because you haven't allowed yourself the proper time to mourn. You haven't allowed yourself the proper time to grieve. You've tried to ignore all of those feelings, and you can't ignore all the feelings. Because with grief, there are a whole heap of feelings, and they'll all come at you one by one by one by one by one. But if you harp on them, they're going to keep going, and they'll keep suppressing, and then you're going to explode. Whether that's exploding on somebody else, that's exploding on getting sick. You can't hide the feelings for long, and that's all I'm trying to say. At the end of the day, you're going to have to feel those feelings, and you're going to have to deal with them eventually. Whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's next month, whether it's next week, whether it's 10 years from now. You don't want to be the person 10 years from now that's still struggling and grieving. Because your loved ones don't want you to grieve that long. The situation doesn't want you to grieve that long. God doesn't want you to grieve that long. You have to make the effort. And no one can tell you when to do it. No one can tell you when you're ready. No one can tell you how to do it. You have to literally take that time. You have to be selfish, honestly. You have to learn how to be selfish. And for people who are selfless, it's hard. Because you try to ignore those feelings. And you try to hide those feelings and just do and do and do for others. And then sometimes your body will just make you. You're going to be in the room, laying down, wondering, why am I just laying here? Why don't I have the energy to do anything? Because your body is tired of you and your mess. But it's okay. Just know that it's normal to grieve. It's normal to mourn. Whatever the situation is, you have to do it. You literally have to. Because if you don't, guess what? You're going to end up sick or you're going to end up miserable. Nobody want to be miserable and nobody want to be sick. So allow yourself that time. It's okay. Nobody is perfect. Everybody goes through. Okay, I feel like I ain't yelling and fussing at y'all. I'm really talking to myself. Okay, so now, like I said, sometimes we don't grieve because we are simply afraid of how it makes us feel. We feel like once we feel those feelings, it won't go away. But guess what? The gag is ignoring those feelings is why it won't go away. The moment you allow yourself to make a conscious decision to feel those feelings, guess what? Better days are to come. No, it's not going to be peaches and cream and better the next day, but what it will be is you will be able to get up and say, I can do this. I can tackle this. I can make it. I will be okay. I want to be happy. No, you don't want to be happy. You want to have joy. Happiness is temporary, but joy is everlasting. I learned that in church today. But you will have that peace. Don't keep suppressing, because the reason you're suppressing is because you're not truly allowing yourself to. And until you fully allow yourself to feel those feelings, until you fully allow yourself to grieve or mourn, it's going to be a miserable process. In general, it's going to be a roller coaster ride. You're going to have ups, downs, bends, turns, loop-de-loops, and more. But just know that it's normal and allow yourself to wholeheartedly feel it. Don't half do it either. Don't be like, okay, yeah, I know this, but in the back of your mind, you still trying to hide from going here or trying to hide from looking at this or trying to hide from looking at that. Okay, I heard you talking to yourself. But you can't hide. You can't hide all the time. And you can't hide your feelings by trying to continue to help everybody else and put on a front. Don't nobody, because at the end of the day, ain't nobody gonna care about you like you care about you. Ain't nobody gonna take care of you like you take care of you. Nobody knows how to take care of you but yourself. Nobody knows what you need but yourself. So literally dig in and dig deeper so you can see, what is it that I need? What is it that I'm missing? What can I do to give myself what I need, what I'm missing, and what I want? Be selfish. Grieving periods are meant for you to be selfish. This is the time for you to literally and solely focus on you and only you, because nobody can tell you how to grieve. Nobody can tell you what to do. Only you. There are people that can try to help you and let you know that, hey, this is the process and this is how it's going to be, or this is what you might experience. We need that. Don't try not to ice people out either. Like, be open to it. Be open to there being people there for you, and be open to the fact that it's not going to be people there for you. And in the case of that is why you have to be honest with you. Don't lie to yourself. What you lying to yourself for? You have no reason to lie to yourself. If you're not honest with anybody else, be honest with yourself and be honest with God. God already knows the situation. God already knows how you're going to handle it. So you definitely ain't got no reason to lie to him. If you angry at God, be angry with God. Yell at him. Do whatever you got to do. Have those conversations. People can tell you, don't question God. Don't yell. Don't be angry at him. This, that, and third. Why not? He already know you mad. So trying to ignore that is not going to do anything. I swear, it's been plenty of times where I done fussed at God and I done asked questions, and it made me feel good. Like, okay, I got that out. You know I'm mad at you, but I also know that you gonna get me through this. So let me put my big girl panties on and keep going with the flow. Don't listen to people trying to tell you what you need. But what you do need to listen to is you and yourself and your body telling you what you need and how to get through it. Your body gonna always have the answers. You wanna know why your body gonna always have the answers? Because as long as God is on your side, he's gonna give you the signs, he's gonna give you the motions, he's gonna give you the notions. He's gonna let you know what you need. We just have to consciously listen. We have to be prepared to listen. We have to want to listen. And you have to want to be better. Because until you are truly ready to be better and get over this, and let me not say get over this, but until you're truly ready to be better and start moving in a positive direction, you can't do anything. The enemy will try to beat the heck out of you with the past, because that's all that he has. So he will continuously try to put those thoughts there, try to put those feelings there. He'll try to do all of that. But what he doesn't have control over is your future and the present. So try to be in the present. Remind yourself of what positivity is going on. And I promise you, it will be okay. And we talking about being in the present and all of that. So that's going to lead to our discussion about PTSD, being traumatized, anxiety, and just literally checking in on a strong friend. So I'm going to end this note right here on that. I just want to get on here and say one more thing. I took my hair and makeup off, but I was thinking about this. We can help other people when other people are going through situations, because we aren't the first people to go through whatever it is that we're going through. When other people are going through, we can have so many words of encouragement. We can give them so much sound advice. Let's take our own advice. Whatever you would think about your situation, think about what you're going through, and ask yourself, what would I tell somebody else? What would be my words of wisdom? What would be my words of advice? What would I do to help them feel better and get through this rough patch? And do it for you. Treat yourself how you want others to treat you. Treat yourself how you treat others. Do for you as you would do for others. We oftentimes forget that when we forget all of our things and marbles and stuff when it comes to ourselves. But let's just think about us in somebody else's view, and let's just think about what we would do. And I swear, if we started treating ourselves how we treat other people in their situations, it will be a piece of cake. It's easier said than done, but let's always keep that in mind. I hope that this was helpful to you. I hope that it has given you some insight, giving you some confirmation, and just letting you know that it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to it's okay to still be grieving and mourning, as long as you know what you need and you know that you are making a conscious effort and decision to do what you have to do so that you can matriculate and move forward into the future and not be held hostage and captive in the past. That is all, y'all. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Comment some things and topics you want me to talk about. Let me know if this was helpful. Continue to watch me as I leave my mark on YouTube. We're doing things with intent over here, and we're trying to help ourselves and help other people. I love y'all. Bye.